All right, we are on the eve of the first major update for Diablo Immortal in 2025. And it is just that. It is a major update. I'm about a day behind, so I'm not going to go into all the details of these patch notes because I'm sure you've seen all the awesome creators that have already covered it. So I'm just going to give you a high-level overview. High level. I'm literally on my way to work. I'm already talking about high level. Oh my God, what am I doing today, y'all? Anyway, we got a lot to cover. Again, those of you that have been reaching out to me, I'm good. I'm just very, very busy. Soccer just started. Of course, I was sick for a week, so I stopped making content at that point. Now life is just busy, busy, busy. I am still playing Diablo Immortal, still covering it, of course. I don't know when I'll be able to pick back up in the live streams, TBD on that. But in the meantime, let's cover all of the fun things coming to Diablo Immortal tomorrow, which is crazy because it's a lot. All right, so here we go. Also, first off, this picture is already super sick. Now, I have not looked at this myself. Of course, I did. Well, I've like skimmed it. So this video is fantastic. It's actually quite funny, so I would recommend you guys looking at it if you haven't already. The Withering Wild main quest. So you're getting a new main quest, and I think we're getting a sneak peek of a new area is how I interpreted this. But yeah, so these are some of the different types of monsters that we'll be fighting. First off, they are beautiful. In the video, they talk about how you're literally fighting the forest itself. You can see that that is very much the theme. And obviously it feels like leading us up to that of the Druid, which is super exciting to me. So let's go ahead and again, that's unconfirmed information. So what else can you do? Forge a name for yourself in the brand new battleground. Now, again, I did partake in the test for this new map. It is fantastic. It is perfectly symmetrical. In my honest opinion, without giving too much away, because I do think you guys are going to absolutely love this, it is going to give us a lot more opportunity for fighting. And now, while I did test it, it was in a controlled testing environment. So it was not my account. It was a made-up account where everything was even. Everyone had the same secondaries. Everyone had the same, basically the same stats, same gems, and we just had like a few different classes we could pick from. So it was a very controlled environment with like a perfectly level playing field, which is never going to be the case in Battleground. So it's going to be dramatically different than what I experienced, and I think knowing that, it's going to be awesome. Not that it wasn't awesome when I tested it. You know, we gave them some really productive feedback, and overall we had an awesome time. But I do think it's going to be dramatically different than what we experienced. So. Like to give you an idea, because it was perfectly balanced, like ranged classes were basically non-existent. Like you could not do enough damage to the tanks, to the tankier classes to really make it worth it. So basically all of us were running around as tanks, but it's still super duper fun. I look forward to being able to be hopefully a ranged class soon, which we'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, this is going to be super fun. I can't wait. It is going to be on a bit of a rotation, so it'll be limited. But anyway, either way, it'll be super duper fun. And they did build in the ability of not getting sort of spawn camped, which I think is a good mechanic. And then they did add a massive boss in the middle, which you can see right here, which once it appears and you kill it, you get a massive bonus. So which is I will say from playing it is truly massive. It's a very much a game-changing buff, which is going to allow you to really sort of have different strategies going into it. You cannot solo it. I'll tell you that right now. Well, in the environment that we played, you could not solo it. So we'll see. New legendary gems. I'm sure you guys have already seen all this already, but the new 5-star gem is basically the new must pick up legendary gem. It is insane. If you want to be competitive in PvP and you are a spender, you are going to be going for this gem. If you are a free-to-play or a light spender, you're probably going to want to work your way towards at least obtaining this legendary gem via probably the Telluric Pearls, or if you've been hoarding any amount of legendary crests, then that is going to be your best bet. However, with that being said, this 2-star, the Spectral Glass, is also really good. And I'll give you, and again, I'm not going into super details, just the high overview. The critical hits now shatter enemy armor, allowing you to do up to 28% more damage at rank 10. And it's a 2-star, which means it's super duper easy. Well, not super duper easy, but easier, significantly easier to get to rank 10 for basically everyone, because you can use your rare crest to unlock it faster through running Elder Rifts. But this one is super good because it actually stacks. So if you have a different armor shred, either skill or familiar via lingering wounds, this is going to be its own entity and can then also be stacked with that. And generally speaking, an armor break like this is going to be arguably better than just straight up damage increased. So I think this is going to be another must-have 2-star gym. This will 100% be in my build as soon as possible, whereas I will work towards this because, again, it's really, really good. But I'm not about to drop any amount of money on it. So, but if that's you, that's on you. But again, I'll probably just save my Tillurk Pearls and work my way towards it. I was working on a different gym 5-star with my Tillurk Pearls, but I guess I will just hold because this gym is that good. 1-star, it basically makes it so you disable dash skills for your enemies if you critically hit them. Again, it's a 1-star legend gem, easy to get to 10-star. It's only going to be really viable in PvP for probably free to play, but again, it does have a place in the meta. So if you're free to play, 100% free to play, and you want to get an easy gem to get to 10, this could still be viable for you. Moving on, you can modify your gem tables, which is awesome. Masterful crafting. So now you're going to be able to craft legendary gear via looking for ores on the open map. So you don't have to kill anything, although you can kill things, to get more of this loot and then be able to craft gear for you. With that being said, they're also introducing new attributes for each class. Looks like there's about 5 that they got. So you can go through and read for your own class. I skimmed through them. All of them seem to be pretty good. I look forward to getting the ones for the classes that I'm on. Next is another Phantom Market skin. We just had a Phantom Market sort of reskin, but this is a brand new Phantom Market skin. It is very much themed to the forest. So quite literally, Children of the First Forest Phantom Market. Again, the picture makes it look quite beautiful. A little bit brighter of a cosmetic than what we are used to. It'll be interesting to see if this is just the cape or if it's actually like the wings. I assume this is probably just a cape. I also think this is the wizard, which looks sick, by the way, with that staff. But anyway, so this is going to be going on from March 20th to April 18th, which looks sick. Omens of Plenty, LTE. This is one of the ones you just complete events for playing, so this is good. Returning events, we got all clans on deck. Fractured Plane is being adjusted a little bit, so there will be new charms you can get inside of the Fractured Plane. One of them gives you Run Resurrection and all these different sort of bonuses. So makes it a little bit unique. Again, it's a returning event, but they're putting a little bit of a twist on it to make it a little bit more, hopefully, engaging. So I like that. It is just obviously a reskin of the Fractured Plane, but again, it's a fan favorite and they're just making it better. Conqueror's coming back. Perils of the Fin is coming back. Class balance changes. All ranged classes will now have their damage reduction from player attacks increase from 15 to 30, aligning with the melee classes. If you weren't aware, up until this point, all melee classes had a 30% reduction to damage in PvP, whereas ranged classes had it up to 15%. Now, their developers note, through the use of legendary fixes, many classes are freely switched between range and melee combat. Therefore, adjusting survivability based upon range and melee classification is outdated. We have standardized the damage reduction effects of all classes to better suit the current game state. Going forward, skills, legendary fixes, and gym configurations will define a class's survivability, which is, I think, the right direction, because if you weren't aware, Tempest was considered a ranged class. Okay, for all intents and purposes, it is actually considered a range class in the eyes of Blizzies. So Tempest is going to feel real good right now. But all right, so that's still all changes. Demon Hunter getting a buff. Multi-shot skill range increased by 3 yards. Not much. Reduced damage effect has been adjusted and is now less severe the farther you are from the enemy. You deal 50% reduced damage to enemies closer to you, scaling up to 10% scale damage at max range. Okay. More of an adjustment there. Necro no longer provides damage reduction from the consumed corpses and only increases damage dealt. Oh, wow. Okay. Wraith Form, evasion rating bonus reduced from 20 to 10. This is what I feel like everybody was using, so that is a bit of a nerf to the Necromancer. Tempest. Windwalk skill has been reworked so the Tempest is untargetable while inside the Cyclone they conjure, but they will not receive increased attack speed until they attack or use a skill. Yeah. Okay, I mean, that's fine. And that's it. Okay, for that one. Wizard, Fortified Entropy. Disintegrate no longer provides damage reduction while Disintegrate is active. Instead, increases Disintegrate damage by 30% to enemies within 3 yards. All right. Featured update. Destruction's Call Zone event. This one's actually kind of sick. So this is, in this event, 2 teams will contend for supremacy by capturing the opponent team's flag, slaying enemy players, and eviscerating fearsome monsters. So essentially it's capture the flag, which literally sounds so sick. It is a zone event, which means you have to be there, and I'm assuming at a certain time. So like that's a little kind of, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Because like, obviously you want it to be somewhat balanced where it's like, 4-on-4, 5-on-5 or whatever. So it'll be interesting how that plays out. I think a capture the flag though sounds absolutely sick. Essence loyalty bonus. A lot of people already talked about this. Basically, when new essences come out, they will start at a lower rate for the loyalty bonus and you are no longer capped. This is a much, much better change. And then once you get to the new, once we go to a new Inferno or Hell difficulty, the lower ones will be at a different, you'll have a different currency to use. You can see the new, basically think of it as like new legendaries and old legendaries. Pretty sick altogether. I think this is huge. Loyalty reset. When the server paragon level reaches a new difficulty level, loyalty paragon will also reset to 0. So that means you can go back to getting it quicker than you can when not. Now, again, this is important to note that this is for server paragon, not necessarily when you reach the new paragon for whatever the new difficulty is. Familiar skill improvements. That's actually a really sick picture. So there have been adjustments. So I suppose old familiars can learn new tricks. As a result of player feedback, we have increased the versatility to aid you in the fiercest of battles. Varog, Stormloss, and Brood Talon will be able to earn new legendary passive skills. These skills supplement a familiar's active skills with more devastating abilities that grow in power with your familiar. Here is a complete list of the new skills. So this is going to push people to get more familiars. So that'll be interesting. Varog, Stormloss, and Brood Talon are receiving these additional legendary passive skills options to increase their viability in PvP because others were already viable in PvP. So that is fun times there. There'll be a new guidebook for the familiars. Vanguard mode. Again, the Vanguard season is reset. Looks like we're getting some brand new bosses. Looking forward to that. I did actually cap my charm this time. So W. Challenge dungeons. Blaze through one of the Burning Hell's hardest challenges with 4 new modifiers. So we got new modifiers. 2 previously released modifiers are receiving adjustments. Gauntlet, combat orbs that boost your speed have been added to get you to bosses faster. That is awesome. The Gauntlet was the one where you literally just have to fight bosses and there's no enemies on the map. Sacrificial power. Monsters will drop additional health orbs. This is the one where you basically do damage to yourself whenever you use an ability. This one is very annoying. So monsters dropping health orbs is actually quite nice. Wilderness expansion. So new monster-rich areas have been added to Ashworld, Cemetery, Stalbreck, World's Crown, Zoltan Cool's Library, and Biofin. W. Waypoints. 2 additional waypoints have been added, which is going to be over at Frozen Tundra and Mount Zavan. Legendary gems will now be sorted into stacks based upon their quality, rank, and if they can be sold at the grand market. This is awesome. Dungeon parties. You no longer have to completely be separated automatically. You can just redo your dungeons. I think this is a huge W. Hopefully this is the case across server as well. Hero's Journey. We're getting additional chapters 5 and 6. I never do those, but in case you do, there you go. Heliquary, there's a couple new updates in gameplay to matchmaking. So invertible phases have been completely removed. This is so awesome. I hate those. The codex has now been used to match and challenge Heliquary bosses instead of doing so at the Westmarch dungeon gate. So instead of having to be all the way at Westmarch, you can do it wherever you want through the codex. This is fantastic. Any member of your raid can initiate an assembly. I don't know if I like that. That could be a little bit tricky. That could also lead to some trolls. So maybe an L. The Spectrum mode now displays health of the Heliquary boss, which is fantastic when you have imbalance in players and you don't know when you should be leaving the dungeon. This is another W. Raid the Vault. They've removed the 3-minute cooldown. You can now go to back-to-back matches. Lots of fighting. Love it. Realm of Damnation Demon Gates can now be done with 1 player instead of 3. That's probably dated and should have been done a long time ago, but we like it. Defensive Krygar Endless mode can now be, you can basically get your cap by hitting 7k points for Endless, so it's a little bit better than, I think it was like 10k originally. And Adventures Chronicles collectibles have been added to World's Crown Zone. Massive W to Diablo Immortal. Cannot wait for it. I will try to live stream tomorrow for the new update, but again, I have soccer for the kids, so we'll see. But this is a massive W, a massive update. Can't wait to jump into it. See you guys later. Bye.